guys, this is Angie McCoy. This week we were supposed to focus on the ideal in the school counseling realm with a contemporary comprehensive program. And I found some printouts. Actually, this is a paper article on it's called The School Counselors, A Review of Contemporary Issues, Steve F. Bain, Texas A&M University, Kingsville. It is his paper that he had done some research on this, but I thought it had some really good points in the ideal perspective. It says, student success means different things to different people. For students, it means graduation. For parents, student success means their child moving smoothly through the educational system in preparation for college or career. For the school, student success means continued state and federal funding. Student success then becomes an interconnected issue that affects contemporary communities and society. The school counselor is the go-to person for student success. White and Kelly, 2010, acerbated the role of the school counselor in the 6 key intervention strategies for student success: social support, monitoring and mentoring, personal and social development, parent involvement, academic instruction, and academic support. With teachers focused on teaching to the achievement scoring, counselors are left with the responsibility of making sure the coordinated efforts of all related to the student come together. When the school counselor is called upon to be the administrator or disciplinarian of the school, he or she may be looked upon as just another principal or assistant principal by the students. Making the mental transition from seeing the counselor as a friend and resource rather than a threat may create disconnection, which may complicate communication and stifle trust between the student and the counselor. Seeing the school counselor as a leader is somewhat different than seeing the school counselor in terms of leadership. Obviously, the school counselor is on the leadership team as it relates to administration, but the school counselors must learn to lead out if they want to see an effective change in their students and the school they serve. Mason, 2010, found that school counseling programs could be more effectively implemented if the school counselor manifested certain leadership skills. One of the key findings of this study had to do with the reliability, which is a key quality of an effective leader. According to Mason, school counselors who follow through on commitments can be seen as reliable, and they are therefore more likely to be received well and sought out by students, parents, and staff. Schools and school administrators who intentionally leave school counselors off the administrative teams do their students, parents, school, and community a disservice. According to Ryan, Kaffenberger, and Carroll, 2011, school counselors are, after all, educators who believe early intervention is an important part of any counseling program. School counselors who have leadership experience have been found to be prime leaders in terms of mentorship and consultation. School counselors would do well to include leadership development in any and all continuing education programs or classes. Counselors must have an idea of their own identity, both personally and professionally. It is important for the counselor to be aware of their own life issues and seek to help others. A high level of self-awareness will assure the therapeutic experience remains focused on the needs of the client instead of being shifted to the needs of the counselor. Corey, and Callahan suggest 2 particular areas to explore in order to maintain a high level of self-awareness: motivations for becoming a counselor and personal problems and conflicts. The counselor should always work towards the best interests of their clients and should encourage autonomy at all times. Corey also suggests that counselors engage themselves in personal therapy and offers many suggestions for therapeutic experiences which will increase availability to clients. It is suggested that therapists have an increased sense of self-awareness and self-understanding when engaged in their own therapy. Working through issues and biases also help avoid the practice of countertransference. Another concern among the counseling profession is the subject of stress and burnout, which are ongoing challenges among helping professionals. In order to sustain a competent and ethical practice, counselors must engage in self-care to maintain a healthy psychological and physical well-being. The function of the school counselor has evolved over the years and no longer consists of just schedule changes, college applications, and dealing with troubled kids. According to the American School Council Association's website, school counselors involved in developing school guidance curriculum, student planning, and individual and group counseling consultations, referrals, psychoeducation intervention, and advocacy School counselors must be competent and willing to work with an extremely diverse group of individuals. The responsibilities of the school counselor include helping students in the areas of academic achievement, personal and social development, and career development. School counselors are often the first ones to see a problem with a student in their empirical bullying victimization. Cornell and Mehta concluded that counselors' ability to identify victims of bullying were positively correlated with student self-reports of bullying. This confirms that counselors are often on the leading edge of knowing what is happening with and to their students. And I love the conclusion. The school counseling profession of today's world is dynamically different than its historical beginnings. Contemporary issues, education, structure, challenges, and students provide a complex backdrop for this helping profession. At the core of this type of service will always be a unique and distinct calling to help students and promote their academic, physical, and emotional well-being. Today's school counselor is essential to the success of both the school and the student body. I love this article because it definitely, and I know it was kind of boring me sitting there reading it, but I felt like a lot of the points were so valid in the changing societies that we have in the world today and the school situations. You have kids living in hotels. You have kids who are middle class. You have low economic kids. You have more Indian. You have Hispanic. You have Asian. All the different types of children, personalities, cultures, ethnicities. Everything's coming together under one roof. So clashing is going to happen. Bullying is going to happen. And I believe that the counselor of today's school has to stay on the tip of the cutting edge research in every avenue to try to positively mediate and move the school forward. I think that ideally a counselor in a comprehensive contemporary school is all the things that they talked about in the paper. Leadership, mentorship, promotion, advocacy, and I love the section on burnout, because as we see these types of problems happening, counselors are going to need to take better care of themselves. It feels like when I was doing practicum last semester, you have to be all things to all people, and it is very tiring, and I can see how counselors would burn out. So this was my presentation of the ideal situation of a comprehensive contemporary school counselor, and I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you.